them.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Wardrobe provided by Bahari Bahamas. Visit shopbahari.com. Good morning, Bahamas, and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm. Always a pleasure to be in your company. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Wellness Wednesday. You know what that means. It's hump day. It's the middle of the week, and we are going to be talking about health and wellness today. And I'm calling this show today the Devil's Triangle. And we're going to be looking at the triangle of high blood pressure, heart disease, and cholesterol. So throughout the show, we're going to be covering, bits and pieces of all three of those because it's all interconnected. And this is why I'm calling it one of the mistakes I think that is often made is that we try to treat the body like it is individual compartments that aren't interconnected and interrelated to everything else in the body. And that is a mistake because it's all connected. And so you will find that one system affects the other system, which then affects the other system, which then affects the other system, and so on and so on and so on. And so if you're going to be talking about health and healing, you have to come at this from an integrated, interrelated, interconnected approach. To do so would be a mistake. And to do so would mean that you would end up treating symptoms as opposed to ever getting to the root cause of the disease. Now, keep in mind that I often say on this show that disease is really just degeneration. It's just degeneration of the body. All disease is degeneration of the body. And the name that has been given is really just dependent on where it is in the body. And, you could have Alzheimer's, you could have ALS, you could have Parkinson's. It's all degeneration of the brain. They're just calling it something different based on which part of the brain is degenerating, but it's all degeneration. And so when we understand this, then we understand that you have to come from an holistic approach when you're talking about healing the body of many of the ailments that plague us. Because when you only focus in or zoom in on one system and completely ignore the others that could be contributing to that system degenerating, then you have a problem. And this is how you end up taking 10 and 12 different medications because as opposed to looking at the root cause, they're just treating that particular symptom for that particular part of the body. And so when that, you're treating, then you get another medication for that, and then something else triggers. It's crazy. It's the absolute crazy approach to trying to heal the body. It just will not work. And so today we are looking at these three things that are interconnected, as you will learn through the show. You're talking about blood pressure, you're talking about heart disease, and you're talking about cholesterol. So this is the devil's triangle that we're going to be covering today. And I want you to like and share the show if you haven't done so already. Call a friend, especially if you know somebody who's dealing with blood pressure issues or heart disease or high cholesterol, which you're going to learn a lot about today, and you're going to be surprised. I might as well tell you now of some of the things that you're going to hear as it relates to high cholesterol. Like and share the show, call a friend, tell them, tune into GPS today, because you're going to get a lot of information today that is really going to blow your mind. Relates to these three conditions and how you can effectively be rid of them, not manage them, be rid of them. That's the ultimate goal. I talk to people often about their conditions, and I get back, oh, I'm a well-managed diabetic. Oh, my hypertension is well-managed. And my response is, would you prefer to manage illness or be rid of it completely, be healed completely? Which would you prefer? Which is better? To manage your disease or to be rid of it? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I would think the correct answer would be to be rid of it. But I often say that we are so used to being sick that we think it's normal. We think that this is a normal part of aging, or this is just a normal part of the genes that I've been handed down. No, that is not the case. Okay? So we often hear of people who have strokes or people who have heart attacks, and we think of them as two completely different ailments, when, as you will learn in this first clip number 1, that if you look at the root cause of that heart condition or what led to that stroke, you'll realize that it all begins from the same point of view. Let's go to clip number 1.
Heart disease, high blood pressure. Most people don't know what these diseases are. Suffering tremendously, have no clue. Grocery bag full of medications, don't know what the disease is. So I want to educate you quickly. Heart disease. The heart is the size of a closed fist. It's a muscle. When it pumps, that's the top number on your blood pressure reading. That's called systolic. When it pumps, it's pushing blood and nutrients throughout your entire body. That's very important. Every part of your body needs the nutrients from the blood flow. You all following me? So that's the top number on your reading. Now, when the heart relaxes in between beats, blood and waste is being removed. That's called the diastolic. Okay? So the top number, that's blood and nutrients out. The bottom number, that's waste being removed. That's blood pressure. And your heart should not have to work hard to do that. Shouldn't have to work too hard. It should be like a race car flying down the highway with no traffic. But instead, with high blood pressure, instead of a race car, it's a semi-truck. And then the lanes close in on you and you get stuck. And that's caused by diet. It stiffens the blood vessels. Then the junk food diet, the diseased animals we're consuming, it thickens the blood, causes atherosclerosis, and then that damage forms a clot, and the clot breaks off, and that's your heart attack. Or it travels up to your brain and you have a stroke. Once again, my father had 9 of them. Is that what the doctor tell people? No. They put people on medications, blood pressure medications, I'm sorry, they should be called poisons, because the textbook definition of a poison is a drug that harms the body. A medicine is a drug that heals the body. Now, you all know if you're taking drugs, it's not curing you of nothing. Am I right? But it's giving you side effects, so it's a poison. Fatigue, lightheadedness, it'll cause you to fall and break your hips. The doggone side effects is worse than the disease the medication is supposed to protect against. It's all in diet. 30% reduction in heart disease and stroke, 1 cup of greens per week. 3 cups of fresh berries in a week will lower your risk of dying from heart disease and stroke by an astounding 38%. Berries, a half a cup every day, 82%. Nuts and seeds, another 35%. So greens, beans, berries, nuts and seeds. And we could eradicate heart disease, high blood pressure, and stroke. Yet every 40 seconds that I'm up here talking, someone is losing a loved one from this needless disease.
Every 40 seconds. I want you to marinate on that for a second. Every 40 seconds. And as he said in that clip, it's a needless disease. The Bible says, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. This is true when it comes to high blood pressure, because high blood pressure is one of the easiest things, I will repeat, and I say that unequivocally without any hesitation, because I have seen it happen time and time and time again. High blood pressure, which as he so eloquently described and explained, can lead to strokes, heart attack. High blood pressure is one of the easiest things in the world to fix. Oftentimes when we are dealing with clients who have, multiple issues, we often tell them, give us 90 days on the program. And depending on the issues that they are dealing with, some of the issues are completely gone within 90 days of medical grade therapeutic micronutrients. Some conditions take longer. If you have bone loss, for instance, or fix, because you're now having to regenerate that which has been depleted. And when you're talking bone, cartilage, that kind of thing, it could take up to 2 years to totally regrow all of the cartilage that you've lost. But you will regrow it with the right nutrients. So some things can take a while depending on how far gone you are, how bad the condition is. But high blood pressure is not one of them. High blood pressure is something that I have seen fixed repeatedly and consistently with multiple clients over a period of 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You would have heard me talk about a client that I have who actually, I think he actually called into the show one day and said, Miss Malcolm, I thank God for you because I was on high blood pressure medication for 40 years. For 40 years. And now after 2 weeks, why is it that somebody could be on medication, high blood pressure medication for 40 years and still not be rid of it, and then 2 weeks of micronutrients and they're well again? Why? Because high blood pressure is a result of a nutritional deficiency. That's it. Nutritional deficiency is what leads to high blood pressure. Simple deficiency of chromium, magnesium, calcium, and calcium, magnesium, chromium, and chondroitin. Simple deficiency. And when you give your body the micronutrients that it needs to function, listen, understand this. Your body knows how to fix. Bodies were created by the ultimate manufacturer who designed them to be able to heal themselves. Your body knows how to heal itself. It wants to heal itself. It's trying to heal itself. There's only one problem. You need to give it the raw material to do it. That raw material are your micronutrients. Now, you would have heard him talk in that clip about the importance of the diet. Extremely important, because I say to people all the time that no amount of nutrition can outdo a poor diet. So if you're not going to clean up your diet, then, you've made the choice of having high blood pressure, because it's a choice. I've actually had clients who, I shouldn't say clients, one client who numbers were improving and, doing really well. And they said to me, Miss Malcolm, I'm seeing the results, but I can't promise you that I'm going to keep up with this, because I just can't promise you that. You made a choice. You've chosen the disease. If you start taking the nutrients and you see the difference in your body and you choose to go back to what you were doing before, then you have made a decision. You have chosen disease. Some people tell me all the time when I tell them, oh, you have to stop eating this and you have to cut this out of your diet. Boy, Miss Malcolm, I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. I say, that tastes as good as you being sick. Is it worth you being sick? I have never had a piece of bread that tastes so good that it's worth me being sick. And so a lot of it has to do with the mindset. I always tell people, I tell my clients all the time, you have to change your mindset. As opposed to associating that particular food with pleasure, I now associate it with pain, because that's what it is. It's killing me. It's making my body degenerate. It's causing me to be ill. So as opposed to looking at that pleasurable that I'm going to enjoy for the 2 minutes it's going to take me to eat that slice of cake, I look at that cake and I see that as pain, because that's exactly what it was doing to my body. It was causing me to have pain. So it became a mindset shift where I no longer associated that with pleasure, but now I see that as pain. So it's really a decision that you have to make. And let me tell you, for those of you who don't feel that you could be incentivized, I got one word to hopefully help you do so. COVID. With all this COVID-19 going around, you should be incentivized to get healthy. Because we all know that the people who are succumbing to COVID-19 are, generally speaking, for the most part, by far majority, people who have other conditions that have made their bodies and immune system weakened. So if nothing else, to do what you need to do. If you are battling with high blood pressure, know this. That is one of the easiest things in the world to fix. Easy. But know this also, if you don't address it, it will lead to other problems like heart disease, like stroke, like kidney failure. I remember Phil Smith. Those of you who are old enough to remember Phil was the premier sportscaster in the country for many years at ZNS. And Phil plagued with high blood pressure. I remember many a day he would be sitting in the sports room just holding his head, the headaches he would get from the pressure, or he would be wiping his face down with alcohol trying to get relief from this high blood pressure. But he never addressed the high blood pressure. What happened? Destroyed his kidneys. He ended up dying from kidney failure. Where did it begin? So again, you cannot ignore one system and think I'm only going to treat this and not pay attention to the others. And this is why this show today is being called the Devil's Triangle. So we're looking at high blood pressure. We're looking at heart disease. We are looking at high cholesterol. So if you have high blood pressure, don't ignore it. You have to pay attention to it because they don't call it the silent killer for nothing. That will seriously damage your body. But have no fear. Know that that can be fixed very easily. You change your diet. You get rid of certain foods, including oils. I know there are some oils that you have been told are healthy. It's not true. The problem is the oxidization of the oil. So even or olive oil, the problem is that as it sits in that container and there's that air bubble in the container, that air has oxygen that is oxidizing that oil. And so the oxidized oil, once it gets into your system, causes a problem, creates inflammation in the body. Now, why is inflammation in the body bad? Well, that leads to things like constricted arteries and scarring. And why is constricted arteries and scarring bad? Because if your arteries are constricted and scarred, then blood can't flow easily through it. As he would have just described in that first clip, what should be a race car speeding down a highway becomes a Mack truck trying to go through traffic, trying to go through a traffic jam. Shouldn't be that hard. But this is what happens as a result of inflammation in the body, which leads to scarred and constricted arteries, which makes it harder for your heart to work to pump the blood through your body. Now, is cholesterol goes to the rescue. And so cholesterol, I want you to imagine it's like a firefighter. So you have a house on fire. What happens? You call the fire department, right? The fire department rushes to the house. Fire truck, hopefully the fire truck has water. For those of you in the Bahamas, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And they start to try to put out the fire. Now, what would happen if somebody showed up and they say, oh my God, this house is on fire. I think it's the firefighters that caused the fire because there's so many of them here. You would say, what are you talking about? You must be stupid. What are you talking about? But this is exactly what happens when people go to the doctor and the cholesterol is what is causing the problem. No, the cholesterol went to the problem area to try to fix the problem. So the answer isn't taking something to lower the cholesterol. The answer is to fix the damage that the cholesterol went there to fix. Because if you don't fix the damage, the cholesterol is going to keep coming. Now, the challenge is when you are given a statin drug to lower the cholesterol, it creates other problems in the body. Before we talk about those problems, let's go to clip number 2, because clip number 2 is going to explain to you how cholesterol has been given a bad rap. Let's go to clip number 2.
Let's talk about true reduction of the risk of heart disease.
Well, so stop eating Crisco and eat more butter and use salt on a regular basis, and you'll be a long way.
Oh, butter
towards
and
having a
salt.
healthy
Wait,
cardiovascular system.
Peter, butter and salt. The medical industrial complex have told us we have to avoid that.
Exactly. So they mirror everything, right? An interesting fact to know and tell, and this again goes against the popular medical culture. There have been numerous books written which have done meta-analyses of published research, which come to the scientific academic conclusion, academic conclusion. In base 10 mathematics, 2 plus 2 equals 4. It does not equal 5. That's an academic fact. You come to the academic conclusion that there is no relationship, zero relationship, between cholesterol in the diet or cholesterol in the body and heart disease.
No, here we go again, right?
100%. It's the opposite of what you've been told.
Right.
I mean, and Time Magazine, I think it was 2 summers ago, did a very interesting article on this, talked about cholesterol. They had a big stick of butter on the front cover, right?
Yes.
And they outlined the relationship between the American Heart Association and the makers of Crisco. And basically, the makers of Crisco paid the American Heart Association a couple of $1 million if the American Heart Association will get their doctors to tell the American public that butter was bad and Crisco was good. And thus was born the genesis of heart disease in the 20th century. I mean, and this is all, again, it's academic, it's in the record, and it's not somebody's opinion, it's a fact, it's exactly what happened. But the ship of mainstream medicine is really, really slow to turn. And even though the research has been done and the facts are in that there's no relationship between cholesterol and heart disease, that information is not going to trickle down into the popular culture for maybe, I don't know, 5-10 years. But be advised, cholesterol is so important to the human body, your body makes it. Your brain is made from cholesterol. Your central nervous system is made from cholesterol. Every wall of every cell in the body is made from cholesterol. All of your sex hormones made from cholesterol. Again, cholesterol is so important to the human body that it makes it. So you need not worry about cholesterol as being the Antichrist. You do need, however, to worry about whether your body has the raw materials that it needs to work the way that nature intended it to.
Okay, so cholesterol is not the devil. Cholesterol shows up at a spot to try to fix damage that exists at that spot. So when there are constricted arteries that cause scarring, then cholesterol rushes to the site like a firefighter would rush to the site of a house fire to try to help to put out the fire. What happens? We get put on statin drugs. We gotta lower this cholesterol. Not looking at what causes the cholesterol to be high. Now, here's the problem. As Dr. Glidden would have said in that clip, your brain is mostly cholesterol. 75% of your brain is something called myelin, the white matter. Myelin is 90% cholesterol. So when you take a statin drug to lower the cholesterol levels, what happens? It lowers it in the brain as well. And when you lower the cholesterol in your brain, remember, 75% of your brain is myelin, which is 90% cholesterol. So when you lower now the cholesterol levels in your brain, what do you think is going to happen? All of a sudden, you can't recognize your children. You don't know your children's name. You can't remember what happened 5 minutes ago. You're getting lost and confused, and because you're damaging your brain. So, the thing to do would be to try to figure out what is causing the cholesterol to be elevated, as opposed to only focusing on the cholesterol itself. Newsflash, y'all. High cholesterol, elevated cholesterol and triglycerides is a result of a blood sugar imbalance. Yeah. So understand that it's all interconnected. It is all interconnected. All right? And once you get that and you take an holistic approach to healing, then you have a far better chance of reversing illness than you would if you are simply just taking a bunch of medications. I have some clients when I first meet them, I'm like, oh my God, 8 and 9 and 10 different medications. And ain't getting no healthier. Take a genius to figure out that's not working. So we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to look at the role of fats in the diet. Because like cholesterol, fat has been vilified. And truth be told, you would die if you didn't have sufficient healthy fat in your body. We're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. Stay with us. For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
At Lee Air, safety is our number one priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Youngevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Youngevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Alive. Alive. Believe in best. And by Tropical Gyros. Not just good food, it's an experience. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. Today we're talking the Devil's Triangle. We're looking at the relationship between high blood pressure, heart disease, and cholesterol. Love to hear from you. The telephone line is 828-3543. 828-3543 is the number to call, and our text line is 828-2543. 828-2543. If you have any questions as it relates to what we're talking about today. So, again, the important thing to understand is that your body is it's all interconnected. There is no only focusing on one system of the body and not looking at the entire thing. That doesn't make sense if you're talking about trying to heal, because it's all in a bag of parts that you're just waiting for it to break, and then you focus on the one part that's broken. And this is one of the reasons I believe that this is why we have so much of a problem with non-communicable disease. 68% of deaths worldwide are on account of a non-communicable disease. What's a non-communicable disease? Heart disease, cancer, high blood pressure, kidney failure, lupus, all of that. These are the very, very conditions that are being called comorbidities that are making people more susceptible to COVID. When you already have a condition that has weakened your body, weakened your immune system, and so COVID comes along and you can't fight it off because your body is already weakened. So it's very important that we understand that all disease is nothing more than a degeneration of the body. And what you need to focus on is getting your body to regenerate itself, constantly regenerating itself. How do you do this? Healthy diet, and they go hand in hand. You cannot out-supplement a poor diet. And you cannot get all of the micronutrients you need from food alone. Food is important. It is important that you eat well. It is important that you eliminate the 12 bad foods from your diet. What are the 12 bad foods? Gluten, wheat, barley, rye, and oats. All wheat, barley, rye, and oats is bad because it damages your gut. Your gut is where disease begins. Your gut is like the epicenter. You have to, your gut is responsible for absorbing micronutrients into your bloodstream, taking them to your various organs to function. So if you are damaging your gut, you're damaging the very apparatus that's responsible for maintaining your health. So you've got to eliminate, not time. Saying good results, but then we come across certain, information and I'm like, okay, what are you eating? Well, I went to a party and I had a slice of cake. Okay, so why are you telling me that you have a joint pain? When you know you eating what you ain't supposed to be eating. You made a choice. You chose the joint pain. When you chose to eat that piece of cake at that party, you chose to have the joint pain. Corn and soy because they're genetically modified and heavily sprayed with Roundup, which is a carcinogen which causes cancer. Heart disease, stroke, we just covered that in the first segment, so I ain't got to go over that again, right? You have to eliminate mayonnaise because mayonnaise is nothing more than oil and eggs, and we're talking all oils. You got to eliminate salad dressings that you purchase in the store that have oil. Anything with oil is bad. So you have to eliminate the oils from your diet. You don't want to be doing fried foods. I know some of you are cutting your eye at me right now, but it is what it is. Fried foods are not good because of the oil, because when you eat the oil, it leads to inflammation. It can lead to cancer. You don't want to do the fried foods, okay? You don't want to do the baked skin of a baked potato or yam. You don't want to do that. Carcinogen. Nitrates and nitrites, cancer-causing. So things like corned beef, cancer-causing. You got to read labels carefully to make sure if you decide you have to have some bacon. Read the label. Make sure it says nitrate and nitrite-free and gluten-free and no preservatives. And read the label. Make sure you're not putting poison into your body that's going to cause you to be ill. Okay? What else? Skins of a baked potato. No oils, gluten, corn and soy, carbonated beverage with a meal. Carbonated beverage means anything with bubbles, because anything with bubbles, the bubbles is carbon dioxide, which neutralizes acid. And the neutralized acid is bad for digestion and will make your body work harder to digest your foods, and that's not good. Cod liver oil, Travis, is really a fat. That's a healthy fat. Cod liver oil, that's really a fat. That is a healthy fat. And there's a difference between oil and fat. Now, let's talk about healthy fats. Cod liver oil avocados. There are several sources of healthy fats. You want to consume healthy fats because your body literally needs fat. But the healthy fat is what your body needs, not the unhealthy fat. Your body needs healthy fats in order for it to function. So let's go to clip number 3, which is going to explain to you
specifically relating to heart disease. Omega-3 essential fatty acids are really important. Omega-3 essential fatty acids are really important. And the research supporting this is so overwhelming that the Food and Drug Administration capitulated to the nutritional supplement industry and offered, something called a qualified health claim. And we need to spend time talking about this.
Please do.
But here's what the qualified health claim that is issued by the Food and Drug Administration said, and I'm quoting directly, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Supportive, but not conclusive research shows that consumption of EPA and DHA, omega-3 fatty acids, may reduce the risk of coronary heart disease. And this is the way that it goes. There are, I think, 47 qualified health claims that the Food and Drug Administration allows.
Mm-hmm.
And a qualified health claim comes into being if someone in the industry shows up at the FDA with truckloads of published research in peer-reviewed medical journals which support a claim between the relationship of a nutritional supplement and a medical condition.
Okay.
If there are mountains of evidence, the FDA has no choice but to capitulate and offer something called a qualified health claim. But the qualified health claims that the FDA give are all couched in this semi-negative language.
Okay. You have to understand, people, if you haven't figured it out as yet, that Big Pharma is a very, 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 very powerful lobby. They wield some serious power. And their concern, their first concern is their money. Their first concern is not your health. Their first concern is their bottom line, their money. And so they will lobby for their interests with the FDA. And unfortunately, we live in a society, in a world today where that translates into what has become a medical monopoly, which we're going to talk about on the other side of the break. We're going to take a break momentarily. But you need to understand this. Because when you understand this, then you'll be able to make more informed decision, understand that they are a very powerful special interest group. And their first order of business, their first concern is not making you well. Their first order of business is helping you to maintain your illness, helping you to manage, I should say, your illness. There is a huge difference between managing an illness and being healed. And that difference is most displayed in their pockets. Because if I can keep you on a high blood pressure medication for 40 years, yay me. So it is against my best interest to educate you about calcium, magnesium, glucosamine, and chondroitin, which could get your blood pressure normal until we make my money. This is what you need to understand when it comes to Big Pharma. Their first and foremost priority is not your health. It is their money. And once you understand that, then you can make some more informed decisions. So Hasheen says, I 100% agree with you. However, this is only addressing the short-term problems and emergencies within our bodies, because at the end of the day, human beings will only become balanced when it is returned or put back into its natural environments and temperatures, and eating the foods produced within their natural seasons, as the 99 elements manifest differently within each environment. And this is just starting the conversation. All right, thank you so much. The bottom line is you have nutrients, micronutrients, to perform its job. So it's important that you get the micronutrients no matter where on the earth you are. That is important. Now, I do believe that your geography has a lot to do with the foods that naturally grow in your area. And I believe that they are, like in the Bahamas, we have a lot of superfruits in the Bahamas. And we just grow up eating these things, not knowing how much of a punch, what's the word I'm looking for? How powerful they are as it relates to their nutritional punch. Extremely nutritional foods that we, took for granted as kids growing up. So things like guinep, extremely healthy. Native cherries, extremely healthy. Superfruits. Soursop, very, very healthy. We grew up eating these things. Right? And the foods that grow naturally in your area are, because of your geography, they will, assist you to, what's the word I'm looking for, to live a very healthy, optimal life within that environment. So I get where Hasheen is coming from. The bottom line is, though, no matter where you are, we all need the 90 essential micronutrients. 90. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids. That's what your body needs, point blank. And when you don't give the body this, and then on top of that, you're eating poorly and not eating the natural healthy foods that we have, and eating a lot of processed foods. And keep in mind, we import, 95% of the food that we eat? Much of it is processed foods. So now you're looking for a perfect recipe. So you have to understand that this is not all happening by accident. There is a plan involved here. That is not a plan for your best interest. Big Pharma is a strong lobbying special interest group that is only concerned about their money. On top of that, as you would have heard in this show in a previous edition, Big Pharma has taken over the agriculture industry. So they have bought out a bunch of seed companies. And now they're genetically modifying the seeds to produce these genetically modified foods that your body can't do anything with. So they've taken over the food and the agriculture industry. They've created a monopoly in the medical, but I see it's after 12 already. And on top of that, they've also put, quote unquote, vitamins in the marketplace, which, because of the way that they're formulated, for the most part, your body can't break down. So they covering themselves left, right, and center. And who is left holding the bag as a result of this? You. When you've been on medication for 40 years and can't be healed. It's all a plan. We're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. We're going to take a quick break, make room for our sponsors, commercials, and then on the other side, we're going to be talking about this medical monopoly and how it is helping to keep you sick. That and more on the other side of the break. Stay with us. Looking for an extraordinary junior high school with caring, qualified staff and affordable tuition? Then come visit us at Elite School of Excellence, an affiliate of First Step Academy. ABECA-focused and Ministry of Education approved, we foster discipline, integrity, and wisdom while molding our students for success. Call us at 341-8846 or stop by First Step Academy Schools on Fire Trail and Soldy Roads for more information.
At the Shirley Street Plaza, you'll find Le Petit Gourmet, a small cafe that's big on flavor. Handcrafted delights made with love will not only please your palate, but feed your soul. Call us at 394-1251. 8 to 12 minutes is all it takes for a burglar to rob your home or business. Security Systems International provides professional and affordable solutions for both. Call 396-5000 for your customized quote. Gwen's Alterations provides professional services for all your tailoring needs, including face masks to keep you safe and in style. A stitch in time saves 9. So call us today at 393-6227.
Escape from the city life to Bacon Air Beach Resort in Piratesville, Mayaguana. Relax in one of 16 air-conditioned rooms just steps away from the ocean. Enjoy scrumptious dishes in our waterfront dining room. Sip on a tropical cocktail, or if you must, stay connected with wireless internet. Nestled on one of the most beautiful beaches in the Bahamas, Bacon Air Beach Resort offers a unique vacation experience. For reservations, call 339-3726 or 463-0182.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Youngevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Youngevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Easy Car Sales, home of the electric vehicle. Visit easy242.com and free yourself from gas. And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm. It's a Wednesday, so you know that means it's a Wellness Wednesday. The show today is called The Devil's Triangle. And we're looking at high blood pressure, heart disease, and cholesterol because it's all intertwined. It's all interconnected. It is all interrelated. You can't treat one without looking at the other. The telephone number to call, 828-3543. And the text line, 828-2543, 828-2543. I want you to like and share the show. Call a friend, especially if you know that they're battling with any of these conditions, because we can help them to be, rid of it once and for all, as opposed to only managing disease. Managing disease only works well for one entity, and that is Big Pharma. That's how they make their quadrillions every year. Listen, man, they doing it. They doing it. But you are the scapegoat. Okay, so Kenley says, a lot of this comes from stresses in life. We are all caught in the cycle of survival and pleasure. People just want to feel good at the end of the day. It's easier. We also have to look at the psychological aspect as well. Well, the thing is, Kenley, I tell people all the time that yeah, you want to feel good, make you feel good. And it will make you feel good for the 5 minutes that it's going to take you to eat that. And then what? And then what? When I was a young girl growing up, my mother said something to me that resonated with me for a long time. She would always say to me, don't let a moment of pleasure cause you a lifetime of misery. And whenever I wanted to do something stupid, I used to hear her voice in the back of my head saying, don't let a moment of pleasure cause you a lifetime of misery. That kept me on the straight and narrow quite a lot, right? And you have to apply the same thing when it comes to diet. A lot of people letting that moment of pleasure cause them a lifetime of misery. Oh, Michelle, man, you want me to give up? You girl, I love my fried fish. I can't give up fried food. Okay, then. Let that moment of pleasure cost you a lifetime of misery. Clogged arteries, or you need bypass surgery, or you get cancer. Was that fried fish worth it? Did it taste that good? Listen, I keep saying it. Listen, my Aunt Pat, God rest her soul, Patricia Glinton, Jesus, that woman could have cooked. She used to make one guava duff that would cause you to slap your ma. Honey Pat, guava duff. Listen, when I went off to college, at that time, Bahamas Air used to fly to New Jersey. I went to school in Montclair, New Jersey. And Bahamas Air used to do a direct flight to Newark. My cousin at the time, and Pat's daughter, Antoinette, she was one of the senior stewardesses. And every Sunday, she would bring me a plate of Annie Pat home-cooked meal. And I would drive from Montclair to Newark. Average for me was going to be some guava duff. Oh, Lord of mercy. Woo, that woman could have cooked. Right? So I would go drive to Newark, go see my cousin, get my food, drive back to school. And, if you don't know what guava duff is, some Americans used to come, well, what is that you eat? And I say, no, you wouldn't like it. Because I wasn't trying to share that with nobody. Right? I love guava duff. That's my kryptonite. But as much as I love that duff, I know that every time I eat that duff, I got a problem later on. Right? Now, this was especially true after my gut became so damaged as a result of me being exposed to mold, because toxins will damage your gut. And I lived in a moldy environment for 17 months, and that tore up my liver, especially after that experience. I eat anything with gluten. It's not a good day for me. right? So I had to come to the point where I realized, as much as you gonna have that 5 minutes of pleasure eating that duff, remember what your mother told you when you were a young girl. Don't let a moment of pleasure cause you a lifetime of misery. Right? And so I had to make a paradigm shift in my mind. And whenever I see that duff now, I don't see the pleasure, I see the pain. God bless whoever came up with gluten-free flour. Because now I go to the food store, I buy my gluten-free flour, I make my own duff. And it ain't as good as any part one, but it's still good. And I can enjoy my duff without causing any further damage to my body. So I digressed a bit with that story, but it's important to understand, because I get a lot of clients all the time who, Michelle, you want me to give up? Man, I love fried. Well, you make a choice. Choose the fried chicken or choose your health. And yeah, I get it, Kenley. People only want to feel good. But that pleasure is fleeting when you consider what it's leading to. Is it worth it? So let's get back to talking about this special interest group called the Big Pharma. Very powerful lobbyist group. And this group has lobbied to the degree that it has created, along with, I would have to, it would be a completely different show for me to go into the history of what led us to this point, because there's a history behind it. It wasn't always this way. There was a time when multiple forms of medical practice were respected. Not just allopathic reductionist medicine, which is what your MD practices. And maybe I'll do a show on this in the future. But there was that whole thing was hijacked to the point where only the MD now is respected as an authority on anything to do with your health. And that was a mistake, because naturopathics come from a totally different holistic view that has found to be very effective, and in many cases more effective than the allopathic reductionist approach. But that's another show. So what effectively happened is that a medical monopoly was created. And this medical monopoly, I dare say, has helped to keep people sick for a very, very long time. Let's go to clip number 4.
Well, big pharmaceutical companies would really get mad at the FDA if they didn't couch it right. Well, big pharmaceutical companies would really get mad at the FDA if they didn't couch it right.
Well, this is it. We don't have a free medical market. No. We haven't had a free medical market, and ever since 1937, when Franklin Delano Roosevelt came up with the New Deal. And what the New Deal did was allow Congress to delegate to whomever they wanted the ability to make law. Mm-hmm. And in the however many years, be like 100 years, well, I don't know, do the math from 1776 to 1937, for a couple of hundred years, whenever this was attempted, the Supreme Court quashed it, because it's clear that the Constitution says there is a separation of powers, mm-hmm. and that the only people that can make laws is the legislative body, and the legislative body exists of people who are elected into office. But Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal laid all that to rest, because it opened the door for Congress to be able to delegate to whomever they wanted the ability to make law. Thus were born the hundreds of federal agencies which exist now, right? So the people in the Food and Drug Administration who make medical law are not elected. They're not elected, they're appointed.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
And we have no say whatsoever over what laws they bring into being.
Okay, so I'm hoping that you understand then how important it is what that man just said in terms of the fact that they make their own laws. And there has been created this medical monopoly. So the medical monopoly, as a result of that decision, makes the MD king. And let me tell you, people are sold on that idea that the only advice that they will follow is the advice of their medical doctor. And again, I will say it for every time because I know some people are special and they only hear what they want to hear. I am not in any way a medical doctor because they play an extremely important role. Thank God for the work that they're doing now in this COVID-19 fight. Thank God for their ability to perform surgery when necessary. Because let's face it, if you're in the middle of a heart attack, you drinking vitamins at that moment ain't gonna help you much. You need to go see a doctor and go deal with that problem. Thank God for their ability to address certain infectious diseases. Thank God for doctors. They play an extremely important role, but they don't know everything. There are some things that the holistic naturopathic approach are better at, and those things include non-communicable long-term disease. But because of this monopoly, people are only hearing what the MD has to say. So if the MD says to you, you have to take 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or 12 medications, that's what you can do. Even if you ain't getting no better. That's what you can do and people are afraid of nutrition in some cases because they have so been indoctrinated by this whole concept that your MD is the only person who can help you to get well. That's a mistake. That's a big mistake. And again, much respect to the MD because they play a very important role in overall medicine. But the allopathic reductionist approach is not the only form of medicine. There's naturopathic, there's Ayurveda, there's chiropractic. There are many different forms of medicine and medical practice. Allopathic reductionism is just one of them. And that is the one that your MD specializes in. But I dare say that that approach is not very good when it comes to non-communicable chronic disease. Otherwise, we would not be seeing, I think, the real pandemic of 8 million people dying that year from non-communicable disease, 38 million. And by the year 2030, that's expected to go up to 44 million people per year dying from a non-communicable disease. So when it comes to high blood pressure, when it comes to heart disease, when it comes to high cholesterol, know this. Your best approach is to deal with it by correcting your diet and nutrifying your body. It's not by taking a medication that is only going to manage your illness. You have to understand that, people. You have to understand that. Let's go to a couple of your comments. Jeremiah says, correct for them. There's no money in the cure. There's money in the treatment. Yeah, unfortunately true. Claudette says, pharmaceuticals only suppress your sickness, but they don't get you well. And so they don't want you to be better because they would be making their money. Shake my head. Well, you know, when I'm talking about this, I want you to imagine that you purchase a plant and you carry that plant home and you lock it up in a cupboard. You don't give it any water. You don't give it any sunlight. So eventually it's going to start to die. It's going to start to degenerate and the leaves are going to start to turn brown. So one day you decide to check on your plant and you open up the cupboard and you realize that the plant is dying. And you're like, you know what? I don't like how this plant look. So what do? Do you take it outside to get some sunlight? Do you water it? No. You go to the nearest paint shop and you buy some pretty green paint and you bring it back home and you take your time and you paint over the brown leaves until it's all covered. And then you stand back and you admire your work and you say, look at this beautiful green plant. How wonderful. And then you put it back in the cupboard. Now, if you walked into somebody's house and you saw them doing that, you would say, this person, because you know that that is foolishness. Because you know that that plant will continue to die under that green paint. Why? Because the green paint is only covering up the symptom of death. The real problem is only being masked. Well, this is exactly what we are doing when we are taking these medications that only make you feel better, only mask the symptom, but do not address the cause of the symptom. In the case of the plant, the cause of the deterioration is that you did not give the plant what it needs to thrive. You didn't give it any sunlight. You didn't expose it to any sunlight. You didn't water it. And these are two things that are critical for the plant to survive. So what happens? It dies because you didn't give it what it needed to survive. Well, here we are with all of these symptoms like high blood pressure, like heart disease, like high cholesterol, like lupus, symptom, cancer, symptom. A symptom that is telling you that your body is degenerating. So does it make sense for you to go buy the green paint and paint over the brown leaves? And then get another paint because you have a side effect from that green paint, so you got to get another paint to deal with the side effect, and then another paint to deal with it. That makes sense? If you are in a place where you want 6 and 7 and 8 different medications because this is what your doctor tells you need to do, you need to start thinking for yourself. Because that don't make no sense. It doesn't make sense. You are painting green paint over a dying plant. Guess what? It's still dying under the green paint. Okay, so Claudette is absolutely right. All they are doing feel comfortable, but the degeneration continues. The smart thing to do would be to address the degeneration. How do you do that? You give your body the nutrients it needs. You stop eating the foods that cause the degeneration. This ain't rocket science. It ain't that hard to do. Healing is not that hard to do. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Let me read 1 or 2 more comments. So Bertha says, the one with the seedless grapes got me. Never even thought about that. Yeah, think about it. I said on my show the other day, if you're eating something that's seedless, that means it's genetically modified because God don't create nothing without seed. So if you, I saw a product where I saw them advertising where they got these cuties, I think they call them, these seedless small oranges. That don't grow naturally like that. Did you know that the natural size of tomatoes have been heavily genetically modified to the point where they are the size that they are now? But do you know that the original form of a tomato was what we call cherry or plum tomatoes? And that tomatoes were genetically modified to grow bigger? Did you know that? And it is the genetically modified foods that are helping to keep us ill. Why? Because they do not have the nutritional value that your body needs. So you're eating food, but you ain't not getting anything out of it that's going to help your body to regenerate. Yes, Kenley, carrots as well. Carrots have been genetically modified. They're what I call a hybrid food as well. So to understand that your body is a well-oiled machine and that you just need to give it what it needs to function. And thanks to the work of the ultimate manufacturer, Your body knows what to do to function. Your body knows what to do. And if it's not doing it, it's because you're not giving it what it needs to do its job. And you will see miraculous results when you start eating well and you start nutrifying your body. Miraculous results. But if that fried chicken tastes so good that it is worth you continuing to have heart disease, carry on. In the words of our competent authority, carry on. Is it worth it? If heart disease, is it worth it? To me, maybe it's just me, but to me, it makes more sense to find another way to make that so you could still enjoy the food that you love without damaging your body. I found a way to make the most delicious fried chicken in the oven. No oil. And ain't no fast food restaurant got nothing on my fried chicken. Delicious. No oil. So let's take a quick break, final break of the show. And then when we come back on the other side, we are going to talk about the fact that healing is easy. And we got to talk about gallbladder removal because for some reason that is an epidemic. And that too has an effect on this triangle that we're talking about. So stay with us. We'll be back after these words.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Youngevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
One of the things I love about the Mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons.
With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks.
We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Youngevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun. And by BMP Liquidators, high quality furniture and home goods at very reasonable prices. I want to, before we go any further with the show, encourage you guys to please go out and support our sponsors. Our sponsors are the ones who put their money where their mouth is to make this show possible. And I have some really good, y'all. I want to thank Mr. Pierre DePuch from Executive Printers for his support. Thank you, Mr. DePuch, so much. Listen, you don't want to get better food than Tiki Bikini Hut or Tropical Gyros. Oh, so good. And I wouldn't talk about Le Petit Gourmet in the Shirley Street Plaza. Listen, man, support the sponsors of GPS. Make sure when you go into their business places, all of the mailboat and if you have to travel to a family island, make sure you check out Baconair Resort. All of my sponsors, I want y'all to support them because they are the ones who are keeping this show on the air. And if you have a business or a service that you provide, our rates are ridiculously affordable. Just go ahead and hit me up, send me a message through Facebook, or you can text 805 56430. Send a WhatsApp message with the rates, very, very affordable rates. But I want to just take a moment to say thank you to all of the sponsors, because without you, the show would not be possible. And I really do appreciate your support. All right. So audience, make sure you go in. And when you go in there, make sure you say, we heard about you, or we watched you, or saw you on GPS, so that they can know that their advertising is being effective. All right, so let me read a couple of your comments before we continue. So Claudette is asking, what about organic carrots? And Kenley answered the question for me. Kenley says carrots are a hybridization of two different plants. They are not natural in nature, so organic or not, there is no nutritional value. Again, the telephone number to call, 828-3543. 828-3543 is the number to call. And our text line is 828-2543. But I think our text line dead, Mauricia. I think this needs to plug in. So on that, we can charge it up in a bit. But definitely give us a call. 828-3543 is the number to call. 828-3543 is the number to call. Okay, so let's get back to the topic at hand, the devil's triangle of high blood pressure, heart disease, and high cholesterol. I want you to understand something, people. When it comes to these three diseases, or any other non-communicable disease, it ain't that hard to be healed. Healing is easy. Healing is easy. You just have to know what to do. You just have to give your body what it needs to function. Now, the doctors, their method for just about everything is surgery. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Medication, yes, they will prescribe medications, but but they often turn to surgery as answer to the problem. And Sometimes it's very necessary, and sometimes it's not. And oftentimes if they can't figure out how to fix something, they just say, well, cut it out. When I was a kid, I used to have repeat tonsillitis, where my tonsil used to become inflamed every so often. And eventually the doctor just said, hey, we got to take it out. And I took out my tonsils. Now here's the thing. I am sure God put my tonsils in there for a reason. I don't think he just was saying, well, there's a little space here, and we might as well just fill up that space. Let's put something in there called the tonsils, okay? Boom, she got tonsils, but she ain't really need that. Right? But when they can't figure out how to fix something, they take it out. That is not necessarily always a good thing. Let's go to clip number 5. Surgery is complicated, but healing is not. Marisha?
Surgery is complicated, but helping the body to heal itself is not, because the fundamental supposition here, brought to the table by the licensed naturopathic doctors, is this. The human body knows how to fix itself. The human body wants to fix itself. The human body is attempting all of the time to fix itself. And it is the holistic doctor's sacred, in my opinion, obligation to develop and deliver therapeutics, not that micromanage the body, not that exert a hostile takeover of the body the way that pharmaceuticals do, but simply to support and promote the body's natural ability to fix itself. Hence the term naturopathic medicine, right?
Correct.
Because we support the body's natural ability to fix itself, so it's easy. There's no $1 billion of research that has to happen here. All that we do, stop eating food that's hurting the heart, salt your food regularly so that it tastes good. Your body will let you know when you're using too much salt. Fill your body's nutritional tank up with the 90 essential nutrients that it needs to function the way that nature and God intended it to. And in the case of cardiovascular health, take more omega-3 essential fats. And, it's really that simple.
So omega-3 essential fats, that's like cod liver oil that somebody asked about. That's an omega-3 essential fat. Fish oils are really an omega-3 and 6 essential fats. And longevity, we have a product that has omega-3, 6, and 9 in one capsule. So you get a really good coverage of essential fatty acids when you take that product. And here's the amazing thing about your body. Your body is so intelligent. Remember now, it's always looking for these 90 nutrients. Always looking for the 90 nutrients. Because that's what it needs to function. And when it's, I want you to imagine it's like a computer scanning. And when it doesn't find what it needs, it will give you a craving to go eat something to give it what it needs. So let's look at essential fats for a second. When you're not getting essential fat, omega-3, 6, and to a certain degree 9 in your diet, you're not getting sufficient healthy fats. What does your body do? Your body scans. It says, we don't have sufficient healthy fats. And why do we need the essential fats? Because that controls things like heart disease. It controls things like asthma. It controls, so many things in your body require fat, healthy fat. And so when you aren't getting it, your body will literally give you a craving to go eat something fatty. So this is why some people crave fried foods, or, you get a craving for French fries or fried chicken. Why? Because you're not diet. And so your body will literally give you a craving to go eat something fried because it's just trying to find the healthy fats that it needs. Now, the challenge is when you aren't getting the healthy fat and you go eat the fried food, it causes damage. It causes inflammation. It causes heart damage. So your best bet is to go eat the healthy fats. Do you know that if you started consuming adequate healthy fats, omega-3, 6, and 9, in your diet, the cravings for the fried foods will disappear. Your body will literally stop craving fried foods. Why? Because it got what it needed when you took that omega-3, 6, and 9 supplement. So it doesn't have to send you. Yes, avocados are good. Avocados a good source of healthy fats. It doesn't looking for fat anymore because you are getting it through what you take in. And I've proven this, when I rush out of the house and I don't have breakfast and I don't take my nutrients, you could best believe that by midday, I'm looking for something to snack on. And the first thing my hand is going to go grab, if I don't control myself, is something fatty. Some French fries, or, well, I haven't eaten French fries in God knows how long, but potato chips or whatever. You're going to have that craving because you didn't give your body the fuel it needs. And your body needs fuel to run on. And the fuel is the micronutrients. So when you're not giving your body the micronutrients it needs, like the healthy fats and omega-3, 6, and 9, you're going to start craving fried foods. You're going to start craving potato chips. You're going to start craving French fries because your body is crying out for the nutrients that it needs. So stop your body from crying out by nutrifying your body. Giving your body the healthy fats that it needs, and it won't crave the bad ones. It won't crave fatty foods. The only reason you are craving fried foods and French fries and potato chips is because you are not getting sufficient healthy fats in your diet. If you give your body the nutrients it needs, you won't be craving anything. Same thing with people who crave sweets and carbs. That's because you have a blood sugar imbalance. You give your body the chromium and vanadium it needs, and the cravings go away. I get clients who tell me this all the time. Since I started taking this, I don't crave sweets anymore. Yeah, because your body getting what it needs. So it has no reason to send you to crave for these foods. That's the magic. That's the miracle of nutrition. You give your body what it needs. Not only will the cravings go away, but your body will start to function as it was designed to function. Reverse it, not manage it. That's the main difference. Reversal compared to management. Would you prefer to manage your disease or get rid of it altogether? So that's why nutrition is so important. You have to nutrify your bodies, people, and you got to stop eating the bad foods because no amount of nutrition can outdo a poor diet. None. So you got to clean up the diet. You have to clean up the diet. Now, I talked earlier about the fact that when doctors don't know how to fix something, they take it out. And there are certain things that they take out a lot. Tonsils is one of them. Now, I don't know if they still do, but growing up back then, they used to take out your tonsils like it was nothing. But your tonsils are a very important part of your immune system. And another thing that they nowadays seem to be taking out a lot, because I'm coming to gallbladder anymore. Doctors remove gallbladders a lot. But the gallbladder wasn't just in there to take up space. It was put there for a reason. And if it is malfunctioning, it's malfunctioning for a reason. So the smart thing to do is to go to the source of the problem, fix the source of why it's malfunctioning, as opposed to just cutting it out. But that is not what we see happening. As we will learn in this next clip number 6, gallbladder removal is all too common, and it's causing a problem for your body. Let's go to the next clip.
Omega-3 nutrients are fat.
Correct.
Essential fatty acids. Now, fat is metabolized and absorbed in the human body through the agency of the gallbladder, right? The gallbladder secretes bile, and one of the functions of bile is to help the body absorb fats, right? Digest and absorb fats. So now there's not enough omega-3s in the diet anyway. So this is one of the reasons that, you know, people get sick on a regular basis. It's not because they have bad genes, but because their body has just run out of the raw materials it needs to maintain structure and function. It's that easy. But in the case of omega-3 essential fatty acids, I think it would be an interesting study to look to see how many people who have had their gallbladder removed then subsequently suffer from illnesses related to omega-3 fatty acid deficiencies. Because if you don't have your gallbladder, even if you're swallowing enough or importing enough omega-3s into your body's going to have a hard time absorbing them because it doesn't have any more gallbladder, right? That would be really interesting.
It would be.
I'd really like someone to see that, but to figure that out. But for those in the listening audience, here's something to ask and tell. You want to look to see if you have any friends or church members, community members, golf buddies, whatever, who've had their gallbladder removed. You want to ask them 3 things. Number 1, how's your skin? Because omega-3 essential fatty acids are also implicated in eczema, right? And, you know, rashes on the skin, eczematous type rashes. Number 2, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and or asthma. So you want to ask them if they've had their gallbladder removed, how's your breathing been ever since? And number 3, coronary artery disease, right? These are like things staring people right in the face, but they're overlooked just simply because of lack of knowledge.
So to our listeners, Peter, that have had their gallbladder removed because they develop what's called cholecystitis or an infection or inflammation of their gallbladder, what would you suggest for them?
Well, so, right, you have to give the body back the bile that it can no longer concentrate. So the liver still makes bile and secretes it into the digestive tract, but it's all messed up and it's not nearly enough if the gallbladder is removed. So you have to take extra. And there's only one nutritional supplement that I'm aware of, and I'm aware of quite a bit, on the marketplace now that provides the right type of bile to the digestive tract, and that's Youngevity's ultimate enzyme. Youngevity's ultimate enzyme. So if you are unlucky enough to have had your gallbladder removed, get a bottle of the ultimate enzymes and take 1 at the beginning of every meal and take 2 at the beginning of a meal that has fat in it. And look to see how you feel. That should only take like 21 days, maybe not even, for you to notice a positive difference if you are unlucky enough to not have your gallbladder.
Okay, so bottom line is this. If your gallbladder has been removed and you're not properly nutrifying your body, it could lead to heart problems. It's all related. It's all related, people. It's all interconnected. It's all interconnected. So I want you to, because a lot of people, I was removed. And you just heard in that clip how important your gallbladder is. What it was there to play a role. It wasn't just taking up space. And so if you have had your gallbladder removed, I would like to highly recommend that you get the adequate nutrients, because you have to now replace what you're not getting from your absent gallbladder. Otherwise, you could be facing heart disease down the road. And again, because people aren't making the connection, if that day, God forbid, were to come, then you would go to the doctor and they say, oh, you have a heart condition. And they would just, focus on that as opposed to focusing on what caused it. So we've covered a lot of ground today as it relates to high blood pressure, heart disease, and cholesterol. And if you need to, that you can go back and watch it again and again and again to fully understand everything that was presented here. But I want you to understand that your body knows what to do to heal itself. Your body knows what to do to heal itself. Our bodies are incredible, incredible. But if you're constantly being bombarded with toxins, if your foods have been depleted of nutrition, if you're not putting that nutrition that you're not getting in your food into your body through adequate supplementation, and not just any supplements, but plant-derived, therapeutic grade, medical grade nutrition, micronutrients, if you're not getting sufficient rest, if you're stressed out all the time, if you're not getting adequate moving, for the perfect recipe for disease. And I dare say that this is why we have such an epidemic in this country of non-communicable diseases, because we have created the perfect storm. Stress, toxins, food with no nutrition. I often say to people, you have to believe the diagnosis. If your doctor tells you that you have high blood pressure, don't ignore that. Don't say, oh, this doctor trying to put high blood pressure on me, but I don't receive that in because you don't have it. that ain't something you got to receive, right? Doctor ain't trying to put nothing on you. And I believe in divine healing and prayer, and yes, I believe in that, and God could reverse things, yes. But a lot of times people are suffering and dying because they refuse to acknowledge a diagnosis. So acknowledge a diagnosis, don't ignore it. But that doesn't mean that you have to believe the prognosis. Big difference. Accept the diagnosis, but don't necessarily believe the prognosis. Because the prognosis may be you have to be on medication for the rest of your life to manage this illness. And that is not true. Your body knows what to do to heal itself. But you got to give it the support. You have to give it the raw material, the building blocks to do so. And on the flip side of the coin, you can't do things to damage the body. And so we have to stop, people. We have to stop. If for no other reason, you need to be concerned about strengthening your immune system, strengthening your body because of all of this COVID madness going on around us. And don't think for 1 second that your solution is just to take a vaccine. But, you know, if you could continue to eat poorly, continue to not take care of your body, continue to not strengthen your immune system, just take the vaccine. It don't work like that. You still need to take better care of your body, people. It's the only one you got. So please, take better care of yourself. Eat well. Stop eating garbage and then being shocked when you are diagnosed with some non-communicable. It just happen. Your body don't just break for no reason. If you are facing a non-communicable disease, chances are you've been working on that for a little while. That has been degenerating for a while to finally get to the point where you are experiencing symptoms. That's not an overnight sensation. That doesn't happen just in a flash. Degeneration has been going on for a while because we ignore symptoms, we ignore. So please, people, don't ignore it. face the diagnosis, but don't believe the prognosis. Know that you can heal. Your body can heal. Whether it is high blood pressure, whether it is heart disease, whether it is high cholesterol, whether it is lupus, whether it is diabetes, whatever that non-communicable disease is, your body knows. And we have to give it more credit. We have to give God more credit. For in his infinite wisdom, he created a very intelligent machine called our bodies. And I dare say that it is underestimating his power, his knowledge, his infinite wisdom when we assume that our bodies aren't designed to heal themselves. I mean, just think about it. You get a little cut on your hand. Within days, that thing healing itself. Because that's what it was designed to do. But if you are not taking care of this one body you have, and I just want to say this to the people in the church and then I can stop. Because the people in the church are notorious for being ill. Notorious. And here's the thing. We are all in when it comes to being good stewards of everything else in our lives. Well, maybe not money. Because the people in the church got a little problem with money too, some of them. And reading the word and prayer and all these things. Wonderful. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. But when it comes to this one body, what God give us to traverse this earth with, we don't want to be good stewards of that. We want to eat any and everything we want to eat. Don't take care of our bodies. And then say, Lord, heal me when we get sick. I want to encourage you to take an active part in being well. I'm not saying that God can't heal you, but I want to encourage you to take an active part in your wellness as opposed to damaging your body on a daily basis and then saying, Lord, I need healing when everything breaks. That's not being a good steward over what God gave you. Take care of your body, people. Honor God by taking care of your body. That's going to do it for today's show. Listen, tomorrow, do not miss tomorrow's show. I am so impressed. I am so impressed. And I suspect you will be too. These are young people who have an eye on the future of this nation. And they ain't going down without a fight. They have determined that they will play an active role in ensuring that the Bahamas continues to advance as a nation. Don't you miss tomorrow's show. It's going to be a good one. That's it for today. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.